Hello, and welcome to this episode. This has been a mucho demanded episode from a number of my clients who are really keen to get support in this area. Now, it's going to be a little bit of a different episode. I want to share a chapter of my book with you, but what I'm going to do is, as we go through the book, I'm going to stop and kind of dive a little bit deeper into some of the tools and techniques. But this episode is all about protecting yourself from negative energy. Now, it is, it's something we can't escape. You will always come across the news, that one person at your work, all these different things are sent to try us on many occasions. But I want to really give you some tools, techniques, tips, so that you are not affected by other people's negativity and energy, or if you are, that you can get rid of that and not carry it as your own. Now, the reason this is in my book is because it's something I work through with my coaching clients, and particularly anxiety clients, because we like to help people. We like to be the one that, is the nice person and support other people. And sometimes that comes with a little bit of baggage, whereby we are taking on some other people's stuff. And, we can often be the go-to person that people come to for support, or come to just so people can layer down all their worries and woes on you so that they feel better. And then you're left landed with it all, kind of trying to process it. Like, why do I feel so rubbish today? And it's actually because you have picked up all the other people's crap of the day. So I want to just share the chapter in my book is chapter 2. It's called The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, Protecting Yourself from Negativity. And it's really important that we do protect ourselves from negativity, especially when you are on a healing journey, especially if you are struggling with anxiety or depression or stress or overwhelm. You really need to keep your positive energy at the forefront of your mind and limit as much negativity as possible so that you can move yourself into a stronger place. Now, when I work with clients, we really go all out in this area of protecting yourself from negativity, just until you're in this really strong space to take action, whereby you can not be as affected by people, because once you're feeling stronger, more confident, all those things, this stuff doesn't matter so much because you recognize it's not my shit to carry. So sorry, you can deal with it. So I start each chapter of the book with an affirmation, and this is this one's affirmation. I surround myself with joy and optimism. I allow only that which is good and positive to enter my being. So as you can see from that affirmation, you do want to surround yourself with joy and optimism and really only try and allow that which is good and positive to enter your being. So you can think of yourself like a little bit like a sponge, and you only want that good stuff to be soaked in. You don't want to be sucking in all that negativity. You want to just be sucking in all the good stuff so you can feel super empowered and inspired. And one thing that's jumping to mind as I'm saying that is, the higher you begin to vibrate, the more you begin to heal, the more positive you become, others will tend to try and push it and they won't like it and they'll feel uncomfortable by it. You will become super aware of other people's negativity because, with awareness comes this almost like responsibility. You suddenly recognize, oh my gosh, they are so negative, because you're now vibing at this different level of positivity and joy where you're like, whoa, and you don't want to get pulled back down to that space. So anyway, as I said, as I go through this chapter, I have no doubt that I will jump around a little bit, but let's just jump in and see where it goes. When we are already in a negative mindset, or one where negativity can take control, protecting ourselves from any external negativity is an essential coping mechanism to learn. This chapter allows us to identify areas where we can pick up on energies which aren't our own. It shows how these can affect us and how to protect ourselves from them. Following these principles allows us to live a life that's more positive, making choices to support our own happiness. A negative mind brings a negative life. A positive mind brings a positive life. What we feed our minds is so important. In 2014, as I lay in bed ill, I found that watching the news would upset me. Listening to friends complain about boyfriends and parking tickets would leave me feeling wiped. Reading celebrity magazines about divorce, affairs, and the red carpet left me sad. What I discovered was that I already had enough negativity going on in my own mind. I didn't need to take on anybody else's. When we're in an anxious, stressed, or depressed state, we're really vulnerable to picking up on the negativity and emotions of others. This may be a concept you've explored before. I'm sure you've had the experience of being around a certain person, and when you leave them, you feel drained and your mood had shifted. One of my clients, Wendy, calls these people mood hoovers. I'm sure you have one of those in your life. Or have you been in a lousy mood, but then you spend time catching up with a friend who's uplifting and inspiring, and you feel instantly better and your spirits are lifted? The latter is the person you need to be around now. When we feel the emotions of others, this is called empathy. Being empathetic can be a blessing and a curse. It's beautiful that we can really feel how others are feeling and know what they're going through. This makes us a wonderful supporter who can truly understand others. It allows us to really be there for friends and family. The downside to this is you may worry about someone's issue long after it is, yet you're left with the energy associated to this. This super sensitivity to others can really affect us mentally, emotionally, and even physically. Are you an empath? So I'm going to go on and read some questions that are within the book to help assess whether you feel that you may be an empath. And what I've discovered is from the majority of people that I work with anxiety through my coaching and through meditation, is that many of them are empaths. So see if you can resonate with any of these questions. Do you feel you can be in tune with others and connect with what they're thinking? When a friend or family member is in pain, do you sometimes feel it too? Do you cry when you see sad things on TV? Do you find it easy to talk about your moods and emotions? Do you struggle with confrontation? Do complete strangers find it easy to talk to you and confide in you? Do you feel physically sick when you hear something upsetting on the news? Do you feel drawn to nature and animals? If you answered yes to these questions, then there's every likelihood that you're an empath. Being an empath is such a beautiful gift in life, but we do need to manage and support this trait, or else it can become overbearing. So this is the important thing that we need to think about. And I'm going to take you through part of the book here, just the same chapter, but to protect your energy and some of the ways, tools and techniques that I use to really protect yourself from negativity. Okay. A lot of my clients are empaths, suffering from trying to do too much for other people, help others, support others, and save everyone else from suffering, whilst taking it all on themselves. Can you relate? I think most of us who suffer from anxiety, agitation, and low mood take the world on our shoulders and lack support ourselves. We lack the ability to make ourselves a priority. This is why it's so important to learn how to separate our own suffering from that of others. Protecting your mind, body, and soul from the energy of others is so important. As a healer, I regularly feel what others are going through. Sometimes I have a day when I'm feeling a bit off and I don't know why, and I realize that I'm actually feeling somebody else's emotions. Protecting ourselves is so important. I've learned this the hard way. I often have clients who come to me, and when we do their treatment and clear their energy, it was heavy around them. We realized that this heaviness wasn't theirs to be carrying. I have a number of rituals and routines I use to support protecting my energy and also clearing the energy of others. For some, this may seem a bit woo-woo and crazy, but others may already be aware of it. But in simple terms, have you ever gone into work or been around family, and when you've gone in, you felt great, excited and happy, but by the time you leave, you feel drained and exhausted? Not because you've been upset or sad about something, but just being in that environment has affected you. These simple tools and tricks will help protect you and clear your energy. Okay, so I'm going to take you through some of the things that I use and support myself, support my clients, and that you can use to support yourself. As I say, some of them, if you're into woo, amazing. And if not, then just embrace what I'm going to say. You obviously have an awareness of energy, and or else you would be listening to this particular podcast or watching this video because you want to protect yourself from that negative energy. So here's some tools, tricks, techniques. Some are mentioned in the book, some I'm just going to kind of riff on that I was thinking about. So using a bubble of light is a really common way to protect your energy. And all you simply want to do, before you're getting out of bed and in the morning, is really thinking about surrounding yourself in a beautiful orb of light. Okay, it could be golden bubble, white bubble, and just, use your visualization to visualize yourself protected in this beautiful sphere of light. And this sphere of light will act like a mirror. It will repel negativity. Negativity will bounce off it and allow it to absorb positivity. So you can just think about this as you lie in bed, think about yourself, visualize yourself in this beautiful orb of protection, of light that goes around you. This is great to do with children as well. If children are struggling at school, or just kind of maybe experience bullying, things like that, you can use it as this way of protecting your aura and protecting your energy. The next one in the book is a detox bath. Now, this isn't so much about protecting your energy as clearing your energy. So as well as protecting our energy from negativity, we also want to clear our energy daily. So Epsom salts, like having a magnesium bath, is a really, really powerful way to clear energy. Water is a powerful way to clear energy. So even just taking a shower at the end of the day can support you cleanse, clear, all that stuff. Visualize the negativity traveling down the plug hole, moving away. Same thing, if you're using salts in a bath, lie in the bath 20 minutes, don't add anything else other than you could use some essential oils with your bath salts, but only use the bath salts. Allow yourself to absorb that magnesium, which will, one, support your anxiety and help you sleep better. So many incredible benefits. I'll try and not diversify too much, but so many benefits from using Epsom salts, but great for clearing any negative energy. The other thing you can use at the end of the day is shower of positivity. So simply either in real life, taking a shower, allowing that water to cleanse, clear, purify your energy, wash the negative energy down the plug hole. Or if you don't have time for a shower or things like that, you can just simply, again, visualize a shower of light cleansing, clearing your aura, taking away all negativity, transmuting all negativity. Think about it like drops of positivity showering you from the top of your head right down to the soles of your feet. That can be really beneficial. Also, I was speaking about this with a client yesterday. You could use essential oils. And what I do is you can make a spray with essential oils, or what I like to do is just simply pop a drop on my hands, waft it above my head, across the front of my body, underneath my arms. So basically you're covering all areas of your body, cleansing the soles of the feet. Essential oils are really beautiful, high vibration tools, natural tools that you can use. So just simply cleansing the aura, and you can think about it as you're doing it, just cleansing, clearing all negativity from the body. You could use sage. So sage is a really powerful cleansing tool. If you've never used it before, be prepared for the smell. You may or may not love it, but you could use sage to cleanse and clear the aura just the same way as you would have done, as I explained, with the essential oils. Frankincense is one of my go-to essential oils that I would use to cleanse and clear energy. It is an absolutely beautiful, beautiful oil. And, you know, even using frankincense, diffusing it in your home can help clear that energy as well. Great one for anxiety, great for elevating your mood. Also helps you with a nice restful sleep. Okay, so those are mostly kind of, I would guess, like clearing the energy, but back to the protecting the energy. So other things you could use, so you could use a bubble of light. You could use sacred symbols. So that could be things such as, like I use my Reiki symbols. If you use a cross, you could put a cross like in front of you, behind you, to the sides of you, above you, below you, to protect that space. You could invoke angels, so you could call upon Archangel Michael, for example, to protect your energy, to protect your space. You could also use like a cloak of protection, visualize yourself in a beautiful cloak. And that might be quite helpful. So those are some of the kind of ways to, I guess, spiritually protect your energy. Now, other ways to be removing yourself from that negative environment, I guess that isn't always 100% possible, but certainly limit your contact, if possible, with negativity. So whether that be watching, as I mentioned earlier, watching the news, reading trashy mags, getting sucked into comparison in other people's Facebook stories or Instagram or whatever, you know, really, if you feel that you're struggling with negativity just now, you need to limit it from all angles where you can, so that you can then cope with it coming from wherever it's coming from. So, you know, work is a prime example I see with clients, whereby, you know, you can't necessarily totally remove yourself from the situation, but what you can do is change your response to the situation. So from this respect, if you are working in a negative environment, what I want you to think about, or it could be family members or things like that that you can't kind of escape from, what I would suggest you do is think about your own expectations. So often we preempt a negative response, like, oh my gosh, I know she's going to be like this, or he's going to be like that. And, you know, we go into that space with that negative expectation already in place. And if you expect something negative to happen, it's probably likely that it's going to. So if you go in with a positive mindset that I'm going to be cool with this, it's fine, they can say what they're going to say, it's all good, who knows, maybe she'll be in a great mood today. You can use things like that. So think about your expectations when you are going into a situation that is particularly negative. Next up, I would say you need to 100% pour positivity into your life. And I'm going to read you another part from this chapter now and see if this supports you. Hopefully it will. And then I will, continue. Psychology. Pour in the positivity. Keep it coming and flowing. Another reason we need to fill ourselves up with so much positivity is, as humans, we are affected by cognitive bias. Cognitive bias is when our brains jump to a conclusion or answer. This protective measure is a way for our brains to reduce our decision making. However, if we have already got stuck in a negative thinking pattern, this will be our brain's immediate go-to response. For example, you're walking down a dark street and you see some shadows across the street. You immediately think it's a person or an attacker, rather than logically reasoning that it's just the shadow of a wheelie bin. You see two people whispering and assume it's obviously about you. Whilst at Ohio State University, Dr. John, really actually don't know how to pronounce his name, obviously that part isn't written in the book, Dr. John Kashi Oppo. Sorry, Dr. John, if you ever listen to my podcast or show, discovered another human cognitive bias known as negativity bias. Without becoming a science geek, simply put, this means your brain is more sensitive to negative information than positive, whether that be through pictures, words, or actions. What was further demonstrated by this bias is that you need to experience more positive experiences than negative. So unfortunately, it's not balanced. In fact, it's suggested that you need 5 positive experiences or interactions to 1 negative. This explains why it's sometimes so hard to shake off something someone has said to you. Have you ever gotten feedback about something and all you can think of is the one bad thing they said? Your partner makes a nice dinner and surprises you, but all you can focus on is the mess in the kitchen. You had an argument years ago and you still can't shake off the feelings. These are all examples of negativity bias. So wonderful psychology is stacked against us from the outset. What can we do to prevent ourselves from continuously being drawn down this negative route? The answer is creating more positive experiences and thoughts than negative. We have to rewire our brains to create positive neural pathways. Sounds complicated? It's easier than you think. And then I go on to share some ways to build up positivity in your life. So think about limiting as much negativity as possible. So you might think, okay, it's just this bitch at work that I just cannot get away from. And honestly, she's such a negative Nelly. She's such a mood hoover. However, you are going to be better equipped to deal with that situation if you limit the negativity in other areas. So if you're protecting your energy, if you are not watching news and crap soap operas and things that are depressing, you need to fill up your cup. So one of the most simple and powerful ways to do this is through gratitude. And this can really help us rewire our brain by wiring in positive things every single day. So I would advise you to form a gratitude practice. And if you don't have one, drop me a message. I can tell you how to get started. But, weave gratitude into your day every single day. And I actually go on to share a little bit in the book about how I used that when I was actually struggling with vertigo and chronic illness, and I was bedridden at that point. And I go on to share about how I started a gratitude jar, and I would pop little notes in it. And these are little shares from back then. Saw a beautiful rainbow, brighter than I've ever seen. Had the most wonderful bath, cuddling Lily and watching a Barbie movie. Got my power and confidence going on. I love life. So as you can see, kind of starting with the little things you're grateful for. It does not have to be big things. It could be, like I've said there, like looking at the rainbow, seeing a bird outside, having a nice cup of tea. I remember when I was in bed and kind of this was the point where I really did have a breakdown. And I was lying in bed, and I know my mom and my husband were trying to get me to eat something. And I remember my husband gave me some mango. And I remember thinking, gosh, that mango is so good. And I remember writing that down on a little note and putting it in my gratitude jar. So it can be really simple things. I know it's something that my mum used through her cancer journey as well. And this is a little quote, don't know where I got it from, but every day may not be good, but there will be something good in every day. And with that in mind, you need to dig deep sometimes. Sometimes you can be lying there like, oh, lying in bed at night, like, honestly, that was the worst day ever. And if you are struggling, I do advise you to do it at night to kind of support you in reflecting on the day and putting you into positive headspace for sleep. But, you know, it could just be, I'm glad I made it through the end of this day. My bed is really warm. I love this pillow. It's so super comfortable. So, you know, just beginning to focus on the positive. And the more you do it, the easier it becomes. I remember walking down a lane beside my old house and suddenly seeing things like, oh my gosh, those leaves are so beautiful. I love this cobbled path. And things that I had never noticed before because I was stuck in this state of anxiety and depression, whereby once I started these gratitude practices, once I started focusing on the positivity, it just makes it easier and easier to, you know, find out about. So in the book, I go on to share some of Dr. David Hamilton's work about gratitude and creating your own gratitude practice. Then I go on to share a case study of a lady who was really, really struggling with anxiety and had an eating disorder and various things at that time. And one of the things that she discovered was the main thing for her was removing herself from negative environments, situations, friends, and embracing gratitude. And that really, really empowered her to move forward. So let me just see what else comes up in the book here. Okay, mood hoovers and negative Nellies. I'll read this part to you because this is probably the main point that people are reaching out to me saying, Susie, have you done that podcast about negative energy yet? Susie, how do I protect myself from these negative people? Like, help. So let's have a little listen here. Mood hoovers and negative Nellies. I'm sure you've had that one friend or colleague in your lifetime who, when you're around them, you instantly feel drained. Yep, you know who I'm talking about. This person can even be a family member or even your spouse. The more you become aware of how you feel and how negative your life has gotten, the more you see that negativity surrounds you. As hard it is as it is, when you're trying to overcome your own anxiety and low mood, you really do need to protect yourself from the moods of others. This doesn't even have to be personal contact. We often get depleted by things such as the news, a Facebook feed, or even an email. What is it that's depleting you? Once we know, we can begin to do something about it. It's not a case of banishing them from your life because this isn't always possible. It's about increasing your positive interactions and reducing the negative ones. When my mum was going through her cancer journey, she loved social media as a way to connect with friends and family from her bed. However, she found that one person's feed really upset her. This person was so negative online that it left my mum feeling upset. So I encouraged her to unfollow that person. If an online presence or story upsets you, there are many options you can take. You can organize your Facebook feed to show positive pages and groups so they're the first things you see. You can unfollow people who are draining you or don't make you feel good. And this doesn't mean unfriend. As I said earlier, it's tricky if it's a family member. But by unfollowing, you will only see something if you directly go and look. Having a social media clear up is always a good idea. In-person interactions can be trickier. You may find this person looks to you for support, that they are unwilling to take responsibility for what's going on in their own lives. They may be the victim in their lives, always a drama, always a story. They're almost seeking your love and assurance, but fail to see what you are going through yourself. Can you think of anyone? This person may be super opinionated or judgmental of others, and you find their constant judgment really draining or negative. Or the final one I recently had to step back from is someone who makes you feel disempowered, who is competitive with you, or you just don't have a feeling, they don't make you feel good. You don't need to have a reason or even an exact experience, but someone not making you feel good is enough to stop interacting with them. The key is to keep situations light and limit the interactions if you can. Step back and spend less time with these types. If possible, you can stop contact altogether. This is the time for you to put your own needs first, to build yourself up and increase your positive experiences. If you do need to still interact with your negative Nellies, then you can agree to meet in a neutral place. Set a time, explain you have something else on after, so that you are in control of how much time you spend with them. I'm not saying only surround yourself with positive people, but what I'm saying is be careful. We all go through difficult times, death, loss, illness, relationship issues, and it's so important to support ourselves and friends through these times. But it's those who actually have a pretty good life and continue to moan and take from you that you need to restrict. Do you have supporters in your group or circle? Do you have people who leave you feeling inspired and held? These can be friends, relatives, colleagues, or even people you follow online or social media who fill your cup with positivity. For me, my sister, my mum, when she was alive, my best friend, Erica, and all my clients inspire me and allow me to feel supported. Online, I love to follow Louise Hay, Oprah, Rachel Hollis, and other empowering women to raise my spirits and keep my mood high. This leads to a constant exchange in energy. There needs to be balance. I personally listen to podcasts or read something inspiring every day of my life. I constantly fill my bucket with positivity, and this is the key. Okay, so I want you to think about who inspires you, who raises you up, who's in your circle, okay? And do a little bit of an audit on energy and how people are making you feel. I want you to, if you don't have positive people around you, find them online. As I said, Oprah, Rachel Hollis back then, Louise Hay, all these people that you can look to, inspire, to raise your vibe, to connect with, whether, podcasts, those kind of things. If you need to have 4 positive experiences to 1 negative, you need to be filling yourself up in any way you can. Another thing I suggest there is volunteering, random acts of kindness. That's a beautiful way to build positivity. Me on this subject. So you want to build yourself up. You want to protect your energy daily. You want to cleanse your energy every single day. You can also use things like crystals as well, black tourmaline, amethyst. You could take that with you to protect your energy. And maybe even creating some rituals and routines. So if you, for example, work is like the place where that negativity exists, when you leave there, think about cleansing your energy. Just like maybe as I walk through this door, I leave all that energy behind me and move into a space of love. Like my clients, when I've been working with Reiki clients, is I use my breath. So after a client is left, I wash my hands, cleanse the energy. Okay, like sometimes I will touch the ground. It's the middle of winter just now. Sometimes I'll go outside and, ground myself to the ground and gift that energy back to Mother Earth. But if you can't do that, you can use your breath. So simply drawing your breath in. I draw all my energy back to me. Exhale, I gift all the energy back to you. Okay, so you are not carrying it. And I will do that a bit like when I said you can do a cross to the top, the bottom, the front, the side. I do that with my breath. I'll draw the breath in from the front and then exhale the sides and exhale top, bottom, and back. So you are super, super, super clear. So I really hope that this has given you some ideas of ways to protect your energy, to build your energy, to cleanse your energy, doing a little bit of an audit on the environments you're in, what you are consuming, what, toxicity are you exposed to, can you limit that, can you reduce that? And yeah, I really, really, really hope that this episode supports you. If you're struggling with anything, please do reach out. I'm always here. Ask any questions about anything that's come up for you today. I would love to be able to help you and support you with that. If you have the book, as I say, go check out. It's chapter 2. There's more helpful tips and things in there with regards to protecting yourself from negativity. And let's just finish again, actually, with the affirmation from there. I surround myself with joy and optimism. I allow only that which is good and positive to enter my being. Okay. Thank you for watching today, for joining me today. And I cannot wait to connect with you again real soon. I am sending you so much love from my heart to yours. Any topics that are coming up for you that you would like me to speak about, to support you with, around anxiety, stress, low mood, life in general, health, well-being, please reach out. And if I don't know about it, I will find someone who does and get them on the podcast for you. So wishing you the most incredible week, sending you so much love from my heart to yours. Be free, my love.